This is Jason from MainstreamGeek.com, and you're listening to the Mainstream Geek Podcast for February 29th, 2016. Hey guys, what's up? Just a reminder, if you haven't gone to iTunes or Stitcher or whatever feed you're listening on and rated, reviewed, and subscribed to the show, please make sure you're doing that. That's how I'm found. That's how I gain subscribers. That is how it makes the show worth doing. So please make sure you're doing all of those things. I'm up in the ratings right now, but let's keep me there. Today, we have AJ Workman.
Hello, hello.
If you listen to Completely Straight, he's been a guest on the show. How many times have you been on the show now?
Just the 2 movie reviews so far.
He comes on for movie reviews that we do on that feed. So if you want to go to CompletelyStraight.com and listen to those, they're pretty good shows. Today, we're going to do some movie news like we always do, but we're going to do a new thing here, a Nerd Block opening. My wife subscribed to Nerd Block for me for Valentine's Day. And this is my first box. This is the first time. So we're going to find out if this is lame or good today.
See if it's on par with the other subscription boxes.
Do you do any subscription boxes?
I don't. I would like to do Loot Crate, but
don't have the ideal one.
Expendable cash
Yeah.
for things that might be filled with crap I don't want.
Right. So here we go. This is the first time I'm opening this one. And it has a t-shirt. That is,
oh, nice.
It's a Deadpool t-shirt, but not a very classy Deadpool t-shirt. I don't see myself wearing this one.
It's along the veins of the
Nickelback fans. Yeah, this is actually, AJ, if you listen to the Deadpool episode, this is what I picture the Deadpool fans.
Oh, I didn't see that it was half skull face.
Yeah, this is what I pictured.
That's awful.
Before I saw the movie, this is what I pictured Deadpool fans wearing. So, I wish you guys could see a picture of this. This isn't a very visual medium, but there's that. What else do we have? Oh, there's a little Deadpool plush toy. So that's... I also don't know what I'm going to do with any of this stuff.
Give it to the dog, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. There is a...
Power Glove oven mitt.
This is a Nintendo Power Glove oven mitt. I don't know how I'm going to be able to... You know what this actually seems like? There's a couple more things in here, but this actually seems like you're paying every month to stock a future garage sale. That's what this seems like. That's my first.
Oh, that's so true.
My initial impression here of my first Nerd Block is that I'm paying every month to fund a future garage sale
or a trip to a thrift store.
It's like Spencer's Gifts is just sending me a box to my house every month.
The nerd section of Spencer's.
This is a Nerd Block exclusive. I'm not sure what it is.
It's a
wine it's a wine stopper that is shaped like a mushroom from Mario Brothers. That's actually kind of a cool one.
Come on, it's Toad, Jason.
Is that Toad or is that just a mushroom?
No.
It's just
Oh, yeah, it's one of the...
It's just one of the power mushrooms that you make it grow.
I didn't see the face.
Yeah, so... That's actually kind of a cool one. I think I could use that one. So I'm going to keep that one right over here with me. And then, lastly... Is it 5 items? Yeah. Oh, God. This is definitely going in a garage sale in the future. This is a... Actually, I'll probably keep this one around. A coffee mug. But the coffee mug has the old Batman symbol on it, like from the 80s. Is that from the 80s comics, you think? The yellow circle.
Yeah, it looks like the Tim Burton.
But it's a glow-in-the-dark bat symbol on a black mug. So that is...
It's not terrible, I guess.
No, that's not bad. So... I guess a lot of the items are fine if we're a younger guy, but I don't think my wife is going to let me use a Nintendo Power Glove oven mitt in the kitchen.
Or if you're not a Deadpool / Nickelback fan.
Yeah, I don't think... Oh, wait, there's cards in here. So, there's a card explaining what everything is this month. We just went through that, though. And then there's a card...
This is a t-shirt.
Yeah. Oh, okay, so next month, we're getting items from Batman v Superman. An exclusive item from that, and Game of Thrones and Karate Kid. What a random assortment of things. 2 very in vogue things, and a random Karate Kid.
Is it an anniversary of some kind?
Yeah, we'll have to open that next month when it comes in, and see how that is. But if you guys want Nerd Block, if this is something that if you want to stock a future garage sale for yourself, go to mainstreamgeek.com/nerdblock. It helps me. It helps you get what you want. So yeah, do that. And we're going to get on with the show now. We just wanted to pimp out our little thing here with Nerd Block we had going on. So, mainstreamgeek.com/nerdblock, all one word. Okay, AJ, what do we have going on for news here?
Let us discuss.
Okay, so you sent me the story about Batman v Superman having an R-rated version. We both had spoken about it earlier.
Yeah.
But what do you think about this?
I think it's ridiculous.
Right. Thank you.
I already see the trend of Hollywood going in, though.
Yeah.
Deadpool was successful because it was R-rated. So that means everything has to be. And it just makes no sense to me.
And Deadpool wasn't successful because it was R-rated.
No.
That had something to do with the marketing. I'll give it that. It did.
It was more successful because it was R-rated, but it absolutely...
It was successful because it was good.
Yeah.
It was just a good movie. It was funny. It wasn't a perfect movie by any means.
Oh, no. But it's funny as hell. It actually has a good storyline, too. So.
Yeah. Are we really just... that's for the DVD release, so that's not going to be in movie theaters, correct?
So far, that's all they said, yes. It's on the Blu-ray. But I don't know if they'll eventually decide that if they think they can get more money, they'll...
Like have a re-release in the wintertime of this, you mean?
Either that, or they'll just say, like, hey, let's put this out in the theater, maybe, like, in, like, L.A. and New York, see how it does.
Can they do that? Because theaters are pretty packed right now. We're going to talk about that later. But is there enough room to have the same movie playing with two different ratings at the same time?
I'm sure they could put it in, like, one of the small theaters and see if they make any... I mean, do a 1 or 2 week test run. I don't think they should, because I think the whole overall idea of it is stupid. But
right. Now, it doesn't have to be an R-rated movie to be good. Nothing has to be an R-rated movie.
And for that movie, I can't imagine what is going to be different about it. Like, they made it for PG-13.
Right.
I don't think they threw in a bunch of R-rated stuff.
Yeah, you'd have to have
just cut out anyway.
I think you can say fuck twice in a movie before you're R-rated, right?
I think it's once.
Is it once?
In a non-sexual context.
Okay. So they're gonna... The way I'm picturing it is either they're going to go back and shoot some raunchier sex scenes, because in one of the trailers, they have that thing where Clark Kent's getting in the bathtub with Lois Lane, so there's obviously some kind of sexual... So they're going to extend that sex scene to make just for the Blu-ray, which I don't see them spending that kind of money on a Blu-ray release like that. Or they're just going to overdub the word fuck in, because there's that part in one of the trailers where Batman says, oh, and then it cuts, and he's going to say shit. Yeah. It's obvious. But are they going to overdub fuck into that? Like, I don't know what they're going to do to make this an R-rated movie.
CGI some extra blood in some places.
But it's like you said, like they had to know before they started making a movie that this is going to be a PG-13 movie. So they shot a PG-13 movie. You don't shoot a Batman or a Superman movie with intentions of making an R movie.
No, unless you do it from the very beginning. And
the timing of it lining up with the release of Deadpool it's obvious why they're doing this right now, because the movie is running into a lot of a bad press. Like it seems like every other week, I talk about it on this show all the time.
Oh yeah.
It seems like every other week it's like, oh, this is going to be awesome.
Studio's nervous.
This is going to be awesome, and then the next week I'm like, well, fuck, this is happening now. So it's obvious what it's lining up, what they're doing. They're trying to hype people up in a way that is going to keep them interested. Because I kind of think that this movie is going to be a train wreck when it comes out. What are your thoughts about how this movie is going to turn out when it actually comes out?
I'm expecting it to be good. I don't think it's going to be great. There's potential for it to be great, but like I said on our Deadpool review, Zack Snyder is like 1 for 5 or 1 for 6 for me.
Oh yeah, you're not a Snyder fan.
So yeah, his movies always look great. His trailers are amazing, and then I get in the theater and it's
which was the one you did like?
Movie? Which one did I like?
Yeah,
Man of Steel.
You liked Man of Steel. You didn't like the Dawn of the Dead?
I don't know if I've seen that one.
That's
actually.
a good movie. And you didn't like Watchmen?
Is that his first one?
That's his first movie, I think.
I didn't like Watchmen.
You didn't like Watchmen?
I thought Sucker Punch was god awful.
I never bothered watching that one.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Because one of Oscar Isaac's first roles, actually.
Oh no shit!
He's good in it, but yeah, the movie itself is not what it's advertised. It's real weird.
The Sucker Punch movie, doesn't it have the girl who's like his girl that they're saying is going to be Robin, Carrie.
Oh,
the Robin from The Dark Knight Returns.
What is her name? Jenna Malone.
Jenna Malone. Isn't she in Sucker Punch?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I've never seen that one. But I actually kind of am a Zack Snyder fan overall. I liked Man of Steel a lot. Not great, but I liked it a lot. I did like The Watchmen, although it was worse than the comic book. I love...
I've never read the comic, so that could be why I didn't like it either.
If you read the comic, it kind of makes more sense. Well, it doesn't make more sense, but like you kind of appreciate it a little bit more on that level because he does stick really close to it until the end of it.
Yeah, I've heard that it's like one of the closest adaptations.
Yeah. Dawn of the Dead I loved. So like, I don't know, I'm going to be very disappointed if this is bad. They even said a couple weeks ago that they were actually planning on postponing, well, it was a rumor, that they're planning on postponing Justice League because apparently people have seen Batman v Superman and said...
Because they're getting nervous about it?
Yeah, they're getting nervous. Now, that could be a lot of things. That could just be people saying, we spent a lot of money on this, and so they're trying to Fantastic Four it and like trying to say, we need to change this stuff around. But, yeah, I don't know, man. I you put that on there, and that was actually one of the big stories of the week for me, the R-rated Batman cut.
Yeah,
which
I mean, they are obviously doing it to try to capitalize off of Deadpool now, like by putting it out now because the movie isn't even out yet. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen a studio advertise something on the Blu-ray before the movie even is released.
Yeah.
So it's very
that's
obvious.
a really good point.
Yeah.
Also,
what they're trying to do.
When Blu-rays come out, okay, so you have a PG-13 movie. Don't they usually have an unrated version, not an R-rated version? So
yeah, it depends on the movie, but usually if it's like that, it's like the movie's already R-rated and then they throw an unrated version.
Oh, really? Is that how it goes?
I think so. Yeah, I don't really remember too many like PG-13 movies with an unrated cut. It's usually like the director's cut or something.
But when you release a DVD, do you even have to have it rated? Can't you just have a movie that's not rated by the MPAA? Like,
yeah, as far as I know.
Yeah. So
but, I mean, if you're releasing the theatrical version, obviously that's going to still have the rating that's stuck on there.
Yeah, but like, why do they even have to go back to say the R-rated version from the MPAA? Like,
because they're trying to capitalize off of Deadpool.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was trying to get at. I wasn't sure if I was right about that or not. Okay, let's move on to another story here. Finn Jones to star from Game of Thrones. He played the White Knight. Was
Sir Loras Tyrell?
He's the gay guy that was who's
he was hooking up with Marjorie's brother.
Yeah, Marjorie's brother.
Or he is Marjorie's brother, hooking up with.
No, I thought Marjorie. Who's the guy that he was hooking up with then?
He was the other Baratheon.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
you're right.
Brother of the king.
He's the blonde kid from the blonde gay knight from Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
he's going to be playing Danny Rand in Iron Fist. You ever read any Iron Fist comics?
Nope, I didn't know hardly anything about him.
Okay,
until the Marvel said that they were going to make a series out of him, and then I looked into it a little bit, but I still haven't read much or don't really know a whole lot about him.
When they announced the what do you call? Is that even part of the MCU? The Netflix
Technically,
series?
it is. Yeah.
Well, I know it happens in the same universe, but would you call that the MCU? The Netflix branch
universe.
Yeah, the Netflix branch of the MCU, I guess. When they announced the 4 original movies, Iron Fist was the one I was excited about. Daredevil became the one that I'm in love with that one right now. I'm super stoked. In 2 weeks, I get to see the next series. But Iron Fist was the one that I was stoked about because that's an awesome. That's like I don't want to say street level because he's still a rich guy, but that's like a Batman story with a on the well, I guess Marvel has Moon Knight, and Moon Knight's kind of the Batman of the Marvel side of things.
Yeah, I think they've talked about making that Netflix series.
That would be amazing. But I was super excited about that. What are your thoughts on this guy? Because a lot of people are saying like he's too fat. He's not even a fat guy, but people are saying he's too fat for this. And
too fat?
Yeah,
that's tiny.
No,
he's like a little skinny.
That's what I think too. But they're saying he's like, I guess they're saying like too pudgy and not like bulked up enough.
I mean, he's got
like months to do it.
They're probably shooting like not within the next 6-8 months probably until it starts shooting.
You think it's that long?
Probably. I mean, they just recently got like the showrunner on board, and they weren't even positive if they were going to make the series until a couple months ago.
Yeah, that's true.
I remember they were like talking about maybe it's just going to be a movie.
But okay, so the way it's going right now, we have Daredevil in a couple months, and then Luke Cage is in November. They're saying, right? I think that
I don't know when that was.
I think
sometime this year.
Yeah, and Luke Cage is in November. So
they did greenlight another Jessica Jones season.
Yeah,
I saw that.
But they've already finished shooting Luke Cage. I thought, haven't they?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so
I guess it could be. Sooner.
What are they? I wonder what they'd be waiting on, and how is that going to play out really with the? Okay, so I've talked about this in the show before, but like now that we have a guy playing Danny Rand, it's more interesting now because we actually can put things together. Like we know that this is happening imminently. So we have Daredevil, then we have Luke Cage. Then what comes next? Because people are going to want a third season of Daredevil. I guarantee that's the thing that's going to happen.
Yeah, or they might spin off, like, if Punisher gets a good reaction, they might spin
How are
off
they
into
gonna
a Punisher series.
They're definitely going to do a Punisher series. There's no way they're not doing that because people are already hyped up about that.
But they're also supposed to be doing the Defenders series with all 4 of them.
Right.
And they've been talking about, like, the show's not going to get a season until after the Defenders. Like, they were saying Jessica Jones wouldn't get a season 2 until after the Defenders premiered.
Okay, so they're buckling down on that then.
So, yeah, I don't know what the order of things is going to be.
I think, again, I'm rehashing something, but I think that Jessica Jones season 1 should have been Jessica Jones and Luke Cage together. So they should have done Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage together, Iron Fist, and then because Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, Jessica Jones was a fine show, but it wasn't. I don't know. It was kind of both of their shows to be anyway.
It was. I mean, I think he's in about half of the episodes.
Right. So half the show could have been.
I mean, I'm sure she'll be in a lot of his episodes too, unless it's Is it a prequel? It might be. I think they said it might be a prequel.
It's like a setup for how he became that?
He got, like, the bar and everything.
That's another thing about Jessica Jones. They never explain. I know. I read the comic of the Alias comic book that was her, what she came from.
Yeah.
But so I know how she got her powers, and I guess it would have been kind of hokey to do it that way in the show. But
the Jewel storyline or whatever.
Well, she got the powers because she was in that wreck with her parents, and chemicals spilled all over her.
Yeah. Same as.
Right, it's in every superhero. I got a chemical spilled on me. Now I can do this.
If only it was real.
In real life, you just die, or end up horribly disfigured.
Scarred for life.
Yeah, but they didn't even bother explaining. They said she had a car accident, but they didn't say how she got the powers. And so I was like, you kind of dropped a thread there that you didn't even need to bring up if you weren't going to explain it. That was the thing about that show. But
I didn't mind that.
I don't really want an origin story for Luke Cage. I get what he is now. Like it's not needed. You know, origin stories they eat up a lot of time.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, I guess if you're talking like a TV series, then you have plenty of time to do all that setup and stuff.
Well, if the whole season is going to be an origin story, then that's a whole that's 13 hours of eating up time.
I don't. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if that's actually the case. That was just something I'd heard.
They should Lost the situation. I loved how Lost kind of fuck. Did you watch Lost when it was on?
No, I've seen the first episode and the last episode, so I kind of ruined it for myself.
Okay, well, Lost had a great way of. If you hear that, that's my dog. But if you hear, Lost had a great way of telling characters' backstories through flashback sequences that were related to the story of the ongoing show.
Uh-huh.
So it was just a really good. So if they did a flashback sequence kind of origin story, but it kept his story going, I would be a big fan because they kind of did that in Daredevil.
Yeah, I was going to say they kind of did like the whole him and Foggy.
Yeah, they kind of told this is where these guys come from, but they didn't really do that in Jessica Jones.
No. I mean, Jessica Jones was kind of the story of her versus Kilgrave, too, so there wasn't enough really time to be flashing back to stuff that happened before. But, I mean, I guess they could have done flashback to when she was with Kilgrave more than they did.
Kilgrave in the comic books, that was a much cooler story than they pulled off on the show, too.
I liked what they did in the show. I do love him in the comic, which is why I think I liked him so much in the show, was because I know, the actual story, so I could kind of project what he did in the comics onto the TV character.
Yeah.
I can see whereas if someone didn't know the story of the comics, they would think he was kind of weak and
I just
not
felt
as menacing.
The way they did it in the comic was kind of cool to where he was in prison and then she had to go and she had to deal with him in prison and that's how he got out and she had to deal with him that way. And she had all these other adventures along the way. It was I think it was 28 issues the comic book was, right?
I'm not sure.
I think it was 28 issues. But she had all of these other adventures that she went on, which I guess she kind of had adventures in the show.
Yeah, there were kind of some
but
story of the week episodes.
Yeah, story of the week. Yeah, but I don't know. I like the way the comic book played out a lot better with Jessica Jones' show. Do you think that these Netflix characters will end up becoming part of the MCU, when Infinity War happens? Because today they actually were talking about a month ago or so, the Russo brothers said that there were going to be 67 characters inside of Infinity War. Did you read that?
Well, they said they have
a board with 67 characters
that could possibly be in there. Yeah.
But then yesterday they were at some Comic-Con and they said that there are going to be 68 characters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I just saw that this morning, actually. So I mean, I never sat down and counted the characters but like it seems to me that they would have to start pulling these characters from the Netflix shows in order to reach that number, right?
Well, they could start pulling them from future movies, like introducing all the Inhumans and all that stuff, because there's a load of those guys.
They might have to, actually.
So they might draw from those and kind of backdoor pilot their movie into Infinity War in some way.
Yeah. I wonder if these guys even will fit in, because these guys can't do the same things that team can do. These guys...
No, I don't think they would fit in that big of a movie where it's like galactic scale, end of the world kind of stuff. They're more street level.
Defenders are like your local neighborhood problems, and that the Avengers don't have time to fuck with. I mean, they're badasses, but the Avengers don't have time to deal with what they're dealing with. Mm-hmm. Because say they would have came in and dealt with Kingpin, that would have been over in a few seconds. Like the whole problem would have been solved.
Yeah.
So it's not a real issue for them. I wonder though, now that you bring up the Inhumans, if the Inhumans are what will become the replacement for the Avengers after Infinity War. Like if Inhumans will be the new Avengers movies.
Yeah, that would be my guess. If
you think so,
if the characters pop and people take to them just as well as some of these newer guys.
But the okay, so they're introducing Black Panther.
I guess they've started introducing the Inhumans on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too, which I don't watch.
I don't watch that either because I heard it was so bad. But everybody tells me
I've heard this season's good.
Yeah, everybody says, and it's just like I never watched the first season. I don't want to sit through all of that just to get caught up on this. Yeah. So it's but Black Panther's not an Inhuman.
Nope, I don't think we've seen any of them in the movies yet.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I get the impression like Ant-Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel
will
be the new Avengers. But I'm wondering how they would fit into like the Inhumans being, because I keep getting the impression that the Inhumans are going to be the new version of what did I say? The Inhumans are going to be the new version of the Avengers. Yeah, but like they're introducing all these new characters, which at one point or another they are. In the comic books, they are the Avengers, and a part of the Avengers. But I don't see any of these characters picking up steam like the other characters did, because with the Hulk,
like Black Panther and Doctor Strange, you mean?
Black Panther, I think, has a good chance of, because people know who he is. He's kind of he's a pretty cool character, anyways. Doctor Strange only recently got a comic book series back. He hasn't had his own comic book since the 90s, I think.
Yeah.
So he just recently had it picked back up, and it's a pretty good comic. I read it. But there's only been 4 issues of it. I don't think he has any... And I'm pretty sure they only brought that back because they're making a movie of him. They need to have material of him out there. So...
I don't know. I think if the movie's done well and the character's written well and performed well, I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be performed well since it's Benedict Cumberbatch. But, I mean, if you think about it, nobody knew... There were no big, like, massive Iron Man fans before Iron Man came out.
That's true.
So any character that pops can... get a big fan base and carry the universe forward, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to our news story here. All right, AJ, you sent me a thing, and I saw the story that you sent me, and I thought to myself, this would be a perfect thing to talk about a larger subject, which is crowding in the box office that we have going on right now. You sent me a thing about Blade Runner 2 being released in January, and if that's a good sign or a bad sign. What did you mean by that? I want to make sure I took what you're saying as if that's as what it is. As
the good value. Sign, bad sign part of that was, I guess, just since it's being released in January, that's usually the dumping ground of shit movies.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if it was them saying, like, oh, we might have made a mistake doing this, let's just get it made and leave it behind, or if they were like, oh, all these shit movies come out in January, we think we have something great, let's drop it in January, clean up all the money.
Isn't January kind of a time where no, January is a shit ground. They never... Like,
January is like the shit ground.
Even this past January, like last month, there was nothing released that was good, was there? And this month, really, this year is just crammed with movies.
Yeah.
But that's going to... Blade Runner 2 is being released in 2018, right? Let's take a look at what's being... Because I think it's actually kind of a good idea they're putting out in January. And the reason is, they might not have a choice. Because Blade Runner 2, even though Blade Runner is a big name for movies, And is who's Ridley Scott? Is he the director?
No, this new one or the first one? Ridley Scott directed original,
Right, but for the new one.
and then Denis Villeneuve, who did Prisoners and Sicario, is making the second one.
I've never heard of Prisoners, but
Has Hugh Jackman, Paul Dano, Jake Gyllenhaal.
I've never heard of that one. But let's run through what's actually happening in 2018 at the box office.
In January?
No,
just the whole
year,
thing?
the
Oh, okay.
year, because you'll see what I'm talking about. They don't have a choice of where to drop this thing, pretty much, if they want to succeed. And you have to keep in mind that when I'm going through this list, that since it's 2 years away,
Dates are subject to change.
Also, new movies being announced as a necessity to accommodate schedules, it can change also. So I think they had to stick with January just to make sure that this movie made some money. Because in January, all they were going up against is Romeo and Juliet Sherlock Gnome. That's the only movie that's coming out in January as of right now against it. And it's actually on the same day, which neither one of those are going to affect the other ones, what they can bring home from the box office. Would you agree with that?
Oh, no, definitely.
Yeah,
totally two separate fan bases.
Like, I'll go see Blade Runner 2, but I'm not going to go see... No, I'm not even going to watch that at home. Romeo and
You might have a kid by then.
Yeah, but... I won't subject... that'll make your kid into a retard if you let him watch that stuff.
It will also be... It'll be like the fourth week of Episode 8 money?
That's my next point. Episode 8 will have been released about a month ahead of time. Because it's December 15th, right? Is when Episode 8 comes out. And January 12th is when Blade Runner 2 comes out.
So it'll be its fourth weekend.
So how... So Star Wars will be slowing down, but as we saw with this one, it held in there for quite a while.
What did Force Awakens make in its fourth week?
I don't know. I could find out.
I think it was still in the 40s or 50s.
Let's find out real quick. Box Office Mojo. I should have pulled this up. This is super.
I had
efficient.
it pulled up
just
a second ago, but I
damn it,
went
AJ.
away from it.
Fourth week weekly earnings for so the fourth week The Force Awakens, the weekly gross was $19 million. Oh, that's domestically though. $19 million domestically is what it made in this fourth
weekend.
Yeah, on the fourth week. No, the fourth week altogether. The first week was one. Wait, that's not right.
If it says week, that might just be Monday through Thursday.
Yeah, that might be true.
I think it made a lot more than
because the opening weekend was $200 and something million. But it held in there pretty. It held in there pretty long.
I think it's still in the.
It's
in the top
number,
5.
It's number 11 this weekend.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it was in the top 5 for a good 3 months.
But
2.5 months.
It's still going to be going against that, but it'll be during the downside of things because even with this chart, it's already at a sixth of what it was making originally. Yeah. So it's going to be dealing with that residual Star Wars effect, but. I don't know.
I think it'll be long enough away, and it's not really the same kind of movie.
Blade Runner going to make that much money to begin with? Is Blade Runner still a thing that it's going to be mass appeal to? It's not a $1 billion movie.
Oh no.
So it's going to make the money it's going to make.
I mean, it's going to be rated R, and it's darker. It's got a pretty specific fan base, but I could see it probably pulling 40 or 50.
Yeah, but then we come to February, and what it's going up against is first the 50 Shades Part 3. So the 50 Shades of Grey movies, Part 3. I don't think that one's going to be...
Those movies are all opening weekend numbers and nothing else.
I don't think it's going to be a problem because those drop off. They're they happen. They're like a firecracker. They just go off and that's it. But then a couple weeks later, you have Black Panther, which is going to own February.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Black Panther comes out from Marvel. And
I forgot they moved that to February.
Yeah, because the Spider-Man movie came and they fucked everything up. I'll never understand why they announced the slate they did because I think that's a huge mistake announcing that many movies so far out.
11 movies over 5 years or whatever.
Because then we saw what happened. Spider-Man came into the mix and they had to adjust it then. And then Ant-Man was a hit, so they're like, we have to make a sequel.
Cram another Ant-Man.
So we have to move things around again. So it's stupid because what if everything starts falling apart?
And now I think Inhumans comes out after Infinity War. Or at least after Part 1.
It comes out after Part 1. Was it supposed to come out after Part 1?
It was supposed to come out before.
Okay, so...
Everything was supposed to be out, and then Infinity War 1 and 2 were going to kind of...
You know what?
Cap the end.
Yeah. It's now Infinity War in May, and then the following year is going to be Infinity War Part 2 in May also. But I think it comes out... I think
it comes out in November.
I think Inhumans is the last one to come out now. I think it comes out
after Part 2?
I think it's in November... after.
That might be right.
I don't know.
It might be Captain Marvel that moved in between.
Hit me up on Twitter and let me know if I'm wrong about that, because I don't want to speak out of my ass. But I think that's the way it is now. Who knows with the way they moved around? My brain's all fucked up about it.
They might cram another sequel in there that we haven't seen yet.
But then we go into March, and this is where it gets kind of interesting, because March of 2018, the first thing that happens is there's an untitled Warner Brothers event film. And they're not saying what it is yet. But they have it on the docket. They have it scheduled out, which it can't be a nothing if they're scheduling that far out and not saying what it is. Could it be Batman?
Could be.
But
true.
Here's the caveat to that. The same month, The Flash comes out on March 16th. So either way, and also in March, Ready Player One by Steven Spielberg, which is one of my favorite books of all time. Have you ever read that?
I haven't read it, no.
So good. It's like the Matrix meets Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory.
Huh.
It's so damn good. The first Matrix.
It's an intriguing description.
Yeah, it's so good. But so March, it's out of the possibility of Blade, because Blade Runner's not going to hit up against the Flash either. I mean, we don't know anything about the Flash, but with the success of the show, even as confusing as having a different star in the movie, it's not going to hit. It's not going to be a competition for the Flash. April, it could fit in there because the only thing that's coming out is The Wolfman, which is part of the Universal Monster Movies series that they're trying to...
It feels like they just put that last one out, too.
Which was the last one?
The last Wolfman with Benicio and Anthony Hopkins.
You know, I was thinking, was that one... Yeah, that one's after the Jack Nicholson one, right? Jack Nicholson one was when I was a kid, actually. So, yeah, definitely.
I didn't see it, but
they're having a whole Universal Monster series come out.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Like, Swamp Thing, Mummy...
Creature from Black Lagoon.
Oh, yeah, not Swamp Thing.
Yeah, but Wolfman.
Tom Cruise.
They've already had Frankenstein
in The Mummy,
and they've already done the Dracula version, parts of it. You don't even know about those.
Dracula Untold.
Yeah, Dracula Untold and Victor Frankenstein. Those are the first two of them. So April could kind of fit, because I think it could go up against because I don't think these movies are going to hit at all.
No, I mean The Mummy might, since it has Tom Cruise, but other than that.
But then we hit May. And that's where everything falls apart from.
May through August is a no-go.
Yeah. May, we have Infinity War Part 1. That's 2018. We also have Lego Movie Part 2, which is going to own the kids' market of things. We also have, right now, we're sitting with the Han Solo movie, which is...
It's the end of May, right?
Yeah, May it's 18th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't write the date down, but I think it's the 18th. Do you think they'll move that to December, too? I think they're going to start moving it all to December.
It would be smart just to keep everything consistent, so people know like it's December. There's a Star Wars movie coming out.
Yeah,
I kind of hope they don't, just because I want to see one sooner. But I was kind of disappointed they moved Episode 8. But I'm also not, because it was a great whole December month.
If they would have kept it, you would have had that tease of that 6-month waiting period as opposed to the year waiting period.
And then you wait a year and a half after that.
Yeah, it's so I'm kind of glad they standardized it. So I kind of hope they do move this. Also, Han Solo coming out in May, since Marvel is owned by Disney and Lucasfilm is owned by Disney, it's going to cannibalize what Infinity War can make. So I'm almost sure they're going to move that shit, because it's just 2 weeks apart.
Yeah.
So, and these are both billion-dollar movies. Well, potential billion-dollar movies.
I don't know if it would hurt as much as some people think it would, but it would definitely take away a little bit of the maybe repeat viewings of the Avengers.
Then we go into June, and we have Toy Story 4, that's a guaranteed hit.
That's a billion-dollar movie.
That's a guaranteed hit. Also, a week later, you have Jurassic World Part 2. No one's going to go up against that one. No one's going to try to go up against that one.
Depends on what it is. I have no idea where they're going to go with that.
It's going to make
money.
A bunch of money just based upon the last one.
Yeah.
Also, June of 2018, Godzilla 2. So, and that's not a big one, but it's going to do better than Blade Runner. Had Blade Runner come out.
Yeah, for sure. I think this first one made like 90 million opening weekend or something crazy.
Yeah, it was a good movie too. I mean, it was fine.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Also, June, Transformers Bumblebee spinoff and the Transformers movies. I don't mind the Transformers movies. I
like the first one.
I'm aware of what I'm watching when I sit down to watch one.
You're part of the problem.
I never go to the theater to see them, except for the first one. But I don't know. People get really righteous about a movie about robots beating the shit out of each other, and it's just like I don't understand what your problem is. Like, that you want to go see a movie?
I
about
think
robots.
it's more about the human characters than the robots.
Absolutely.
To be honest.
Also, the length. They're about 4.5 hours long each.
The last one was so terrible.
They're bad, but I always go into them knowing
I'm going
what
to see
get.
a bad movie.
Yeah. But then we have at the very end of the month, How to Train Your Dragon Part 3. So that's going to make it. I don't know. That's not $1 billion movie, but it's going to make a shitload of money.
Yeah.
It can't go up. It can't do June. Every week in June has a new movie coming out that's a giant movie. July, you have Ant-Man and the Wasp. Not a heavy hitter, but again, Blade Runner can't
Probably
touch
make
it.
more money than the first Ant-Man, which did okay.
Yeah.
Did decent.
Then you have an untitled Marvel movie from Fox, which I'm guessing is Deadpool.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, Deadpool Part 2. But the reason I'm
Could be another X-Men movie.
Could be.
Sequel to...
Didn't you just say that they moved Gambit?
Yeah, they moved that to 2018, I think.
So that could be it, actually. This is July 2018, so maybe...
No, that was 2017, never mind.
Okay.
It was Predator that I said opened in 2018 now.
Well, this date for the untitled Marvel movie was actually the original Fantastic Four date.
The sequel
sequel that they announced prematurely before the movie even came out, and now they just had this date sitting out there. So I'm guessing that Deadpool will take that.
Yeah, you said that's July?
July, mid-July of, I don't have the date written down, but mid-July of 2018. Also in July, we have Aquaman, which I don't know if that's going to do well, but I think enough people will be curious.
That's actually one that I'm excited about of the new standalone DC ones, just because the way, like, the picture that I saw of Momoa in costume and everything, he looks so badass. The actual character of Aquaman is super badass.
Are you genuinely excited about any of the DC movies? Like not just like you saw a picture of Jason Momoa as Aquaman, it looks badass, but like story-wise, are you genuinely excited about any of them?
Not really.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. They just seem like this is like.
I mean, I'll see them all, and I hope that they're good. They could get me more on board if they consistently crank out good movies. But
yeah,
I'm not like lining up 4 hours beforehand to sit and get a good seat to see it. Probably won't even be seeing Batman v Superman opening weekend.
You're gonna be at Disney World when it comes out. Yeah,
but even if I was here, I would have seen it just to do the review with you guys. But me personally, I wouldn't be running out there pre-buying tickets and everything for it.
Yeah. Well, this is where we get into the lull that we're going to have that year of August through October.
August and December are now, or September are now almost as bad as January. At least this past September was terrible.
Wasn't
or this past August was terrible.
What came out in August? I thought there was a big movie.
I don't even remember because
I guess you're right.
Nothing good came out that I can think of.
Wasn't Guardians in August?
Yeah, it was like August 1st or something, very, very beginning of August.
It was like right up against the Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah.
I remember that being a thing. So there's plenty of room there, but that's when kids are going to school. Nobody goes to see movies during that time of year. So that could be a place they could put it, but...
Yeah, you'll get the occasional, like, Oscar bait movie drop, like, mid-September, but none of those are going to take money away from...
Yeah. And then all you have for the rest of the year is Fantastic Beasts 2, which comes out in November, that's a Harry Potter movie, right?
Yeah, it's the Harry Potter prequel kind of spin-off series.
And then in December, there's an animated Spider-Man movie, which I don't understand why they're doing that.
I don't know.
They're really fucking up
through with that.
They're fucking up their brand with that. They're just on the right track right now. Hopefully on the right track. We don't even know yet.
Is that the one that Lord and Miller were supposed to write?
Yeah, they're writing and directing and producing it.
Oh, I thought I heard that they weren't because they were working on Solo now.
Oh, I don't know.
They might have.
That might have changed.
Passed that off to somebody.
Well,
else.
December might be in their movie if they. Either way, that's December, and if they move,
they could have a movie in December either way.
They could have two movies in December for all I know. And all of that being said, movies that are still coming out this year are Frozen 2 and Mission Impossible 6. They just don't have a release date yet, and those are two giant movies.
Yeah.
So the box office is getting way too filled up to say that any month is going to be dead. At this point in the game, like you have to have movies in every month at this point. You have to pick the shitty movies if you're not one of these giant franchises at this point, just to even compete and hope that people haven't spent too much of their money going to these other movies or plan on spending too much of their money because it's getting tight to.
It seems like Marvel's trying to move the summer movie season into February if they're putting Black Panther in February.
Yeah, because
they're getting it started earlier and earlier. Got BVS in March this year, and then February in 2018 they start with the superhero movie. So
can you believe how close Batman v Superman is? Like, they're coming out so quickly that it's just like you don't have time to catch your breath in between them. It's really crazy. Like, just this month, I'm going to see. Like, it used to be I'd go every few months. There would be a movie I'd be interested in seeing at the theater. I'm not waiting to see it at home. Next month there are two: 10 Cloverfield Lane, and Batman v Superman. So
is there anything in April this year?
Yeah, Jungle Book. Well, I'm excited about Jungle Book.
Yeah, so am I.
I like the Jungle Book a lot. Well, let's jump into one more thing before we close this one out. J.J. Abrams' comments on Cloverfield. What did he say? He said, do I have the story here? He said that it is the Cloverfield monster isn't in the movie, but there is a monster.
There is a monster. He said it's not the sequel that people are thinking it is, but the sequel that they'll realize they wanted the whole time after they see it.
What the fuck does that mean?
It's a very JJ thing to say.
Yeah. Do you believe, first of all, do you believe him?
About which part?
What he's saying, what he said there. Because remember when Star Trek, the second Star Trek came out, he said, no, Khan is not in this movie. Turned out to be a lie. And there have been a few other times I heard somebody talking about on another podcast I listened to the other day. I can't remember what show it was. But they said he lies all the time, like to throw people off the.
Well, people were trying to. People use that one instance of him saying Khan's not in the movie to like accuse him of lying about everything he ever said.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
So, I mean, they did it on Star Wars all the time, where they're saying like, he said it's Jakku, it's not Tatooine, but he lied about Khan, so it's really Tatooine.
Oh, did they? I didn't read that.
Oh, yeah. They use that for all kinds of things that he said leading up to this movie. So I think I don't know. I believe him.
I'm thinking it means that people are right about this is like an anthology series now. It's not. It doesn't have anything to do with a monster, but he is saying there is a monster. So it's just an anthology series about different types of monsters.
It could be, yeah, like some kind of turning into some kind of like Twilight Zone-esque anthology series almost. I
just don't want to think about it because I really want the story of the original Cloverfield story to continue. I love that fucking movie so much.
Yeah, I mean, it could be in the same universe, just a completely separate story.
Yeah, well, we'll find out in like in 11 days.
And he did say that they have an idea for a third one already. So
yeah,
if this one does well, which I'm assuming it will.
How crazy is it that I don't think it will. I think
you don't think it will?
No, I don't think it's going to do well, and here's why. Well,
they made it for no money, so
if what he's saying is true, they're going to make their money back. But I think the fan reaction to this, if what he's saying is true, is going to be so bad because they've tricked us. They've tricked a lot of people who aren't into like following the ARG and the news stories and stuff like that. They've tricked a lot of people into thinking that this movie is a big deal because it's a follow-up. By using the name Cloverfield, they've tarnished the Cloverfield name a little bit. They're going to lose a lot of people. They won't lose me. As long as it's good, I'm in.
Do you think Cloverfield's a movie that has like a big ravenous fan base like that, though?
I've never met anyone who didn't like it.
There's people that like everybody liked it, but I don't think there's a huge like following where people are just like.
Have you read the subreddit for the subreddit that they on what is it? 10 Cloverfield Lane.
I've looked at it a couple times. I haven't like gone real deep into it. But.
Okay, so let me just tell you how ravenous these people are. And this is a Substack, so I can't say it's like a huge.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. I think that there's those people out there, but I think it's a very small, like, fan base. They're just not like Cloverfield conventions and things.
Yeah, that's true. They attacked a girl the night before last.
Did they really?
Okay, so here's what happened. There was on funandprettythings.com, which is part of the ARG. There was something to do with that gave the location of a cell phone. You know how they had that package that came out last week, but there was a new cell phone in a locker at a bus station. I believe it was. I could be wrong about that, but it was in a locker somewhere. And some girl found the correct place to go to, found the cell phone, and decided she was going to keep the information to herself till it was all figured out. She didn't have any like bad intentions. She just didn't want to come out there with little bits and pieces. She wanted to come out the whole thing all at one time. And they fucking went ravenous on her. So she finally said, "Okay, fine. Here's the cell phone. You can call and you can like leave a voicemail, and hopefully they're supposed to call you back." And they hadn't called her back yet. They may have at this point. It's been like since this morning since I've read it. But I tried calling it, and the voicemail box is just full. Like,
I'm sure it was full right away.
Yeah, it ruined it. But they were like, they found her email. They were like harassing her that way. They found her personal phone number. They were harassing her that way. They went crazy on her just because she wouldn't like tell them every step as she was going through it.
I would have loved it. I would have been like, "Oh, I know what this is, and I'm keeping it to myself."
I wouldn't have told anybody that I had it until like that's the dumb thing she did though. She
like, "Oh, I found it. I'm not going to tell you.
I'll tell you when I get everything together." But people weren't crazy. But I guess I get what you're saying. There's not like a huge it's not like a Star Wars following to where people are really going to care if it's not what they're expecting. But people that your main fan base are going to care if they walk in and they're expecting to see a Cloverfield movie that continues a story that we've all wanted since the last movie. I wanted to know what happened after that, but there are going to be people that are disappointed and like won't go back to see the movie. And if they do it well, I'm in for the third one. Like if this is an anthology series and it's done well and it makes sense, then yeah, I'm in. But I don't know how that could be at this point in the game.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, he could be lying, and it could be a direct sequel in the Mr. Grumpy Pants, as they call him.
Yeah.
Cloverfield destroys the house or whatever. I don't know.
I don't need it to be that. I just want it to be good. I just want I just want it to be good. Because if Cloverfield was left alone, that's fine, and this is like a story into its own. As long as it's good, I'm cool. But
yeah. They keep calling it a blood relative of the first one, which I'm very interested to know what they mean by that.
Don't you think it's weird that the movie cost $5 million, but then they spent $5 million for one commercial at the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
I mean, if they think they need to get the name out there,
well, they did.
Yeah,
they're gonna make their money back for sure. It's just I don't know if they're doing it in the right way. But I think that's what we're going to stop at this week with.
Sure.
That's all the news stories. If you have any thoughts about what we talked about today, you can email me at jason@mainstreamgeek.com. You can find me on Twitter or Facebook at mainstreamgeek. Like I said at the beginning of the show, whatever you're listening to this on, please make sure that you're going there, rating and reviewing the show. You can visit the YouTube channel, the YouTube channel. We have a little bit more content there. AJ will be back next Monday. Like, is that what we said you're going to do, like the Monday shows? And then Wednesday this week will be Brandon Schoonover from the reviews also. And that's all we have until now. So until next time, keep it geeky.